Thank you for watching our presentation for BYU Idaho class CS416, Group 2. Our presentation topic for software testing is generating test cases. Test cases are a process whereby a system may be tested to ensure proper behavior. The formal definition describes a test case as a set of preconditions, inputs, actions where applicable, expected results, and postconditions developed based on test conditions. Through this brief presentation, we will discuss test cases in further detail. Individual test cases may be grouped into test suites, and repeatedly applying test cases or test suites to a system, especially after a change or update is made, will allow for validation that intended behavior is reached. In other words, it helps to know that an addition or change in one area of your program provides the functionality intended and doesn't break something somewhere else. Test cases and test suites provide an awareness of the overall health of your application. When building and recording data for your test cases, you will want data similar to, but not necessarily limited to, what you see here. Additional fields can be researched online and may better fit your group or company's needs. At a minimum, you will definitely want to name your test case, record or ensure any preconditions are met, such as ensuring an account is locked before testing the restrictions of a locked account. You will also want to note and follow steps necessary to perform the actual test itself, preferably one test per case, and you will want to provide any necessary test data, such as user login and password, or the data needed to validate calculations are being properly performed, so the proper input and the output expected. And of course, you will want to record the results of your test. The result may be as detailed as an error log, or as simple as a pass-fail on said test. Here is an example of a traditional test case. Your test case may have more or less data depending on your needs. In this example, a test is being performed for valid user credentials, or in other words, that the system allows a user to sign in to an application. You will note that the objective is clearly stated. Knowing the objective helps prevent unnecessary duplication among multiple tests. The precondition is that the user must already have an account created, and while substeps 2 and 3 of the steps section simply state to use a valid username or valid password, such specifics are recorded in the test data found further below. This test case example also describes what a success of this test would be, namely that the user be transitioned into the system as shown by the loading of the dashboard view. Finally, a result of the test is recorded, in this case a success or failure, to achieve the stated test validation. Providing test cases to an application has several benefits. Among these are the following. Utilizing test cases provides a means of ensuring quality as the program is developed initially or changed over time. Also, through simple tests, developers can see where an implementation or change had a negative impact. Some test cases may be a functional record of business rules currently applied to an application, such as only allowing certain users and certain groups to access specific files, or allowing dates within specific ranges for certain fields. And additionally, providing test cases can ensure knowledge of a system's functionality and validity extends beyond the developers who created it. Test cases also provide a record of how things work within a system, allowing new testers to be more effectively trained. Downsides to test cases may include the following. The tests can be potentially time-consuming to write, and this of course is in addition to the code needed for the application itself. Additionally, creating enough tests to properly test a system may seem next to impossible with deadlines and ever-changing requirements. Some tests may be difficult or impossible to automate, necessitating manual tests, execution of which is time-consuming and prone to error. Some tests may behave differently in a test environment as opposed to a live environment and used by dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of users, making proper test creation even more difficult. Finally, selecting the right test can be as complex as creating the tests themselves, as some forms of testing may not impact a system in a meaningful way, leaving gaps in test coverage. Effectiveness is the capability of producing a desired result. With test cases, the engineer must know how to choose the best technique. Both manual and automated testing offer benefits and disadvantages. It's worth knowing the difference and when to use one or the other for best results. Manual testing is not accurate at all times due to human error. Hence, it is less reliable than the automatic approach. Manual testing is also time-consuming and requires investments in human resources. That is why it is best suited when human knowledge and/or experience is needed. We shall choose manual testing when performing usability tests because the human tester can evaluate preferences of the user. Of course, when there is no test planning, the manual method becomes mandatory. Automated testing is more reliable than manual, as it is performed by tools and/or scripts. Automated testing is executed by software tools, so it is significantly faster than a manual approach. Because of these characteristics, it is best to use the automated approach when performance and repeated execution are necessary. You can see on the slide that it is also great to automate the test routine when there are loading issues or when regression tests are necessary. For further detail, please feel free to review the sources we have listed here.